essay writing, crafting or creating your conclusion paragraph. So, why do you need a conclusion paragraph? Well, reason number one, it provides the reader closure. It brings them to a conclusion. You as a writer are taking the reader on a trip. The introductory paragraph is where they start. That's their home base. Their body paragraphs are different stops along the way of the journey. And then lastly, you have the final destination or the conclusion. You want to bring them to a new place. You want to give them closure. The second reason why you have to have a conclusion paragraph is because it drives the main points one last time. Studies show that a person remembers the first thing and the last thing that you say. The information in the middle, it sometimes is lost in translation. So it's important that for the reader, you drive home one last time what your main points or what your main arguments are. And the last thing, it allows the reader to see why your POV matters. Why should the reader take your point of view important? Why should the reader take what you have to say seriously? Why should the reader agree with you? Now, let's talk about the format. Typically, a conclusion paragraph is about 5 to 6 sentences. Typically, for your most standard essays, that's really all the amount of sentences that you need. Sometimes you can have a little bit more depending on how many main points you have. So you might extend that to 8, but rule of thumb is about 5 to 6 sentences. And it's typically always the final paragraph of any formal essay that you write. However, VIP number 1 is the second paragraph you should write. Because it's so similar to the introductory paragraph, it just makes more sense, working smarter, not harder, to go ahead and write your conclusion paragraph after you write your intro paragraph. Alright, now, there's a 3-step conclusion paragraph writing process. I call it the TSS. Restate your thesis claim, sum up your position, and then provide a super so what. Restating your thesis claim. Restatement is a rhetorical device that writers use where they state an idea and then they state the idea again, but using different language. Let's look at an example. Dogs make for better pets than cats. My idea or my premise is that dogs are better than cats. So this could be the sentence from my introductory paragraph. For my very first sentence in my conclusion paragraph, I want to be able to say the same thing, but state it in a different way. While cats make fine pets, they pale in comparison to the dog. I'm still in line with my prime premise that dogs are better than cats. I'm just saying it in a different way for the reader. The next S is sum up your position. Now there's 3 ways that you can do this. You want to sum up your arguments. That's where you list your main points or the items that are listed in your thesis statement because clause. So if I say dogs are better pets because of their friendliness and their ability to be trained, I want to sum up those arguments again. Now, I can either sum them up by paraphrasing what I said in the body paragraph or by providing an additional fact, quote, or statistic that supports my argument. The next sum up is sum up how you proved your thesis statement claim. This is where you basically give the reader a chronological step of how you proved your point was correct or your point was valid. So you could say, first by showing blah, 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 this was proven. Second by showing wah, 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 this was showing. I'm showing my reader how exactly, step by step, I led them to see that I was right. This is a great concept or a great way that my kinesthetic learners or hands-on learners or real process-oriented learners can really use their step-by-step mentality in their writing. And then lastly, you could sum up with COIO. And there's 4 ways you can do that. You can either call the reader to action, you could offer them a solution, you could include a quote, or you could offer up a statistic. So, sum up your position, sum up your arguments, sum up maybe how you proved your thesis statement claim, sum up with COIO. Now the best part about this S is that you can kind of interchange them. You may be able to sum up your arguments and in your conclusion paragraph tell the reader how you proved your thesis statement was true. You could sum up how your thesis statement was true, then offer a solution, call them to action, include a quote, or offer a statistic. Or you could sum up your arguments and then sum it up with COIO. So you could use multiple ones of these three sum ups. You don't have to just do one. An effective writer knows which ones to use, but typically the best writers use more than one. And then the last S is the super so what. What is the one thing you want the reader to take away from your entire essay? And why should they care about your point of view or your topic or your premise? Why should they care about what you think? And it's the last lines of the essay. Just like your hooker statement in your intro paragraph drew them in, you want them to be further drew in. You want them to be invested in your thesis statement, claim, and because clause. So that's why it's called the super so what, because your super so what got a lot to do with those last lines of your essay. So let's look at a sample. So here we go. While cats make fine pets, they pale in comparison to dogs. Dogs have an innate empathetic nature, making them excellent companions. With adequate training, one is able to serve as the protector for the or any family. Moreover, because of the unique and varying breeds, individuals can choose a dog tailor-made for them. So when your child comes to you asking for a family pet, do the right thing, choose a dog. So let's break this conclusion paragraph down. While cats make fine pets, they pale in comparison to dogs. So this is my T. I restated my thesis claim. I stated in the very beginning in my thesis statement that dogs are better than cats. I'm just stating it again. I am not taking anything away from cats. I'm letting my reader know cats are great, but they don't have anything on dogs. All right, let's go to my next sentence. Dogs have an innate empathetic nature, making them excellent companions. So now I'm talking about their friendliness and how they are social and also how they're loving. That was one of my arguments that I stated. I said dogs are better animals, dogs are better pets than cats because they're friendly, sociable, loving animals. I just restated it in a different way. So I gave them another way to look at one of my arguments. Then here's my next sentence. With adequate training, one is able to serve as the protector for any family. So I said in my thesis statement that dogs are able to be properly trained. So now I told them with that training, one is able to serve as the protector for any family. So right here, I offered them up a solution. I offered them up a solution. All right, here we go. Moreover, notice here, I'm moving on. I'm transitioning now, so I need a transition device. Once you're done making your arguments, once you're done summing up your position, now let's begin. Now you want to go into your super so what. So now I need to transition from my summing up my arguments to my super so what. Moreover, because of the unique and varying breeds, individuals can choose a dog tailor-made for them. Now, this I did not even mention in either one of my body paragraphs, but I provided additional arguments that show why my point of view should be taken more serious than the other person the reader is reading. All right, here we go. Now, keep in mind, once again, I got another transition device. Now, I said so, But you can use another transition device like therefore, or if you're just beginning, you could use the standard one, in conclusion. Now, sometimes people would say use in conclusion right here. I say don't. I say restate your initial claim and leave your in conclusion for the last lines you want to say. That way the reader clearly knows you're coming to a close. So, therefore, so, or in conclusion, when your child comes to you asking for a family pet, do the right thing. Choose a dog. I'm telling them point blank, I'm kind of ending it on a light, semi-humorous note, but clearly I'm letting them know there's something that I want them to do. I am calling them to action. So, in this conclusion paragraph, I used all of the different ways. I did all. I did C-O-I-O. I called them to action. I included a statistic. I offered a quote, and I offered a solution.